Our weather alert continues now. A blizzard watch issued for parts of the state. Our team of meteorologists continue to monitor all aspects of this massive storm as it approaches. It's the #1 killer, and heart disease does not discriminate. So the Go Red for Women campaign is fighting back. Here to talk more about it is Dr. Summer, CEO from John Dempsey Hospital. He joins us this morning. Good morning to you, and thank you for coming in.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here.
So we're going to get to the luncheon that's coming up, which is really exciting, and you can get involved. But just, catch us up here. What exactly do we need to know about heart disease?
A couple of things. One is the mortality rate for heart disease has fallen by almost a third in the last decade.
That's
but in spite of that, it's still the major killer for women. Nationally and in Connecticut, it's 10 times more common as a cause of death than breast cancer.
That is interesting. I don't know that people necessarily know that. And the fact that you point out that women, a lot of people don't necessarily, that's not the first thing you associate. You often think it's men, but women are susceptible too, just as susceptible as men, and often their symptoms are more silent, aren't they?
They're silent or more subtle. It can be things like jaw pain or fatigue or shortness of breath or nausea. And if a woman has those kinds of symptoms, particularly with exercise, she should see her doctor. And if the symptoms come on and persist, she should call 911 and get to an emergency room right away. We say that time is muscle with the heart. If we can intervene quickly with a heart attack, we can open up the arteries and we can save a lot of heart muscle.
That's a good takeaway. Really important for people to hear that. People are seeing a lot of red dresses. A lot of people on news shows are wearing them right now. This month is when, we do the Go Red campaign. And there's a special luncheon coming up, and we're going to give you details on that in just a minute. But I think it's really interesting to note the keynote speaker for this. She has a really unusual, maybe not so unique story, as you're pointing out.
Her name is Ginger Zimmerman.
Yes.
And she is a heart transplant survivor. The interesting thing about her story is she had some symptoms that were not typical for a long time before her problem was diagnosed.
And this speaks to what you're saying about women. This happens, yeah.
That's right.
So she's going to share her story at the luncheon. It's coming up fittingly on Valentine's Day.
Right. February 14th at the Convention Center, from 9 in the morning till 2 in the afternoon.
And it's going to be quite a day. Before the luncheon, there are some vendors, some different things. You can get some educational information about heart disease, and then of course the luncheon, and you'll hear that amazing keynote speech. What is the one thing that you really want people to hear in our discussion here? And obviously encourage them to go to the luncheon as well. But what is the one takeaway you really want loud and clear?
I think awareness that this is still a major killer of women nationally and in our state, and that women need to be aware of the ways that they can detect the symptoms that are different than men. And we're really focused on prevention, addressing the issues that can reduce a woman's risk.
Well, that's all great information. Thank you so much for coming in. We hope that more people will head on out. By the way, the event runs from 9 a.m. until 2 p.m. on February 14th, and we're very proud that our own Lisa Carberg is the MC. So you can learn more about this at NBCConnecticut.com. Just search Go Red on our website. You'll find all the information there, and we are proud partners in a caring community.